Let's get into this. So Bud Light, Bud Light is having a rough time, guys. Okay, because they just had to buy back a whole bunch of expired beer from their wholesalers. Which is, okay, this is like really funny. People are trying to say that like it's completely normal. Like it's completely normal and all companies have to do this with expired products. Like, yeah, obviously, but it's not normal that this much of it is just sitting on the shelf for this long. Like that's not, it's one thing if a store over orders, which is probably pretty rare for something like Bud Light. Like usually stores have a really good handle on what is selling at what rates, and so they just buy accordingly. And for this to happen is just it's pretty weird, pretty out of the ordinary, I would say. And I feel, how much money have they lost so far?
Oh, yeah, you got to see this. I did bring this up. Where is my? There it is. $15.7 billion.
That's rough.
That's gotta hurt. And you were talking about the buyback and everything from that. Well, it is a thing. They do buy that back and things like that. Now beer is only really good for roughly around 100 days, but usually the stock goes kind of quickly, especially during holidays and things like that. It goes really, really quickly. I just stopped by the two grocery stores in my area today. They were full. Everything else was empty, almost empty, but they were full. And usually, around here, people don't really care about things like that. So I saw one dude looking at a Bud Light stand, and it was just like, you can get this 24 pack for $2.50, and he's like, "That's a good idea." And I was like, "Gay," and he's like, "You're right." And he just walked off.
I saw, which I don't know if the post I saw was real, because at this point I feel like you can't trust like almost anything on the internet. But like there was one photo that somebody was sharing that it was like $1 something for like a 12 pack or something like that. And I was just like, this is insane to me. This is insane. Like, but yeah, Bud Light will be buying its beer back from wholesale retailers. Oh my goodness. Following the disastrous marketing campaign that celebrated trans-identified social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney becoming a so-called woman, which backfired. Their sales plummeted due to a nationwide boycott of the brand by beer drinkers who didn't want to drink the beer, repped by a man who dresses as a woman and claims to be a girl. Man, they went hard in this article.
Well, look, it was written by Katie Davenport. She is a woman from Seattle, Washington. From Seattle. Mm-hmm. And she's going this fucking hard, which is amazing. Kudos. Y'all are actually starting to do something here.
There's got to be some sane people hanging out in Seattle still. They can't all be insane. I'm sorry to those of you who are trapped within your cities. Go Woke, Go Broke is actually starting to come true now. Plus, there's also Target's decline now. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get into that, too. Because they're experiencing the Bud Light effect, which I think is pretty...
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. They're actually worse right now than Bud Light is as far as their decline. I mean, it happened in a week, where this took months.
Well, and I think what's interesting is something like Bud Light, right? So what happens is it's a tier effect, because it's people stop buying in the stores first, right? So it takes a little bit to see that reflect, but then what happens is like a lot of bars, events, and just stores in general kept buying the beer because that's just their normal order, right? They just kept putting in their normal order, getting their normal amount, and then it sits. And then, so they stop ordering. You know what I mean? If they're not selling the product, they're not going to keep ordering. So then it will reflect another big impact, another big hit on them. And that's why sometimes it takes a little bit of time, because there's just levels of this that occur, obviously. But man, Bud Light sales dropped 23.6% during the week of May 6th compared to the previous year.
The week ending April 29th, sales declined 23.3%. And I do want to point this out, okay? The 23.6% during the week of May 6th is not indicative of who bought during the week ending April 29th. Mm-hmm. This is a year-over-year thing. So the people that stopped buying around that week of May 6th does not count for the April 29th one because you guys already stopped buying. So it's more people atop of more people that are just stopping altogether.
Yeah.
Like they're done. Which is, it's an amazing thing to watch because, I mean, as soon as that stopped, I was just like, okay, Michelob's off the table kind of situation for me. And, you know, I've been done with it since it first dropped, and to just see them plummet so hard is just funny. I mean, let's take a look at this.
Bro, this is how desperate Budweiser is. They had Walmart move their products right to the front entrance of Walmart. And look. Right by the cups, not a single package taken.
There's like one cooler missing. Somebody was like, I just want this cooler, bro. It's a good deal.
Bud Light was at our Walmart. It's literally as soon as you walk in, both doors, whether you're on the pharmacy side or whether you're on the grocery side, they're right there. And the displays are still just as they left them. Like, I've never seen any of them be taken in any way so far. Now, when you go back to the back, of course, people want them cold. So when you go back to the back, there will be some taken away, but it's just like Bud Light is, you know, all of Anheuser-Busch products are damn near stocked up completely. And everything else, you can see people making a run on that, especially today. Like, I went into my Walmart, and I went to the back. There was damn near everything gone, except for Anheuser-Busch products. And I'm thinking the only reason people took that was, A, there are some who don't care, or B, it's just like, well, I got to get something. Everything else is trashed at this point, you know? Mm-hmm. I went into the Publix, and Publix looked the same way. Like, Publix was even worse because they were cleaned out of everything except Anheuser-Busch products. And I mean cleaned out. There was nothing in the back. I asked them. They're like, nope, we got nothing. I was like, wow.
Well, and it's, you know, it's funny because at the exact same time that Bud Light's sales started plummeting, then their competitors, you know, they start rising. You know, I think PBR was a really big one. Here we go. Yep. While Bud Light continues to see a steady decline in sales, the American beer giant's competitors are seeing sales spike. Pabst Blue Ribbon was up 21.6% in the week of May 6th compared to 18.9% increase the previous week. And I think there's a couple other ones too. But yeah, like they're just getting
like I do
PBR's
find
like having a party over there.
I do find it amazing though, because like people are giving up Bud Light. Now, I used to be a Michelob drinker, I'm not gonna lie, but people are giving up shitty beer for shittier beer. Like, Pabst Blue Ribbon is horrible. Oh, it really is. Apparently, there's a lot of people out there that like it, and I don't care. But to me, it's horrible. And, like, Steel Reserve is even up as well. Who the fuck drinks Steel Reserve?
The alcoholics.
Look, I'm functional, but I hate Steel Reserve. All right? It's not a thing.
Bro, if you're drinking Steelies, you maybe reevaluate some life choices. I'm just saying. Much love, but like, I mean.
But yeah, they completely tank in every single way in this. Like, this one right here, this $15.7 billion, this was May 24th of 2023. They've lost $15.7 billion, and their rivals gained $3.2 billion apiece.
Oh my God. And I think I forgot to pull the article. But they just partnered up with Harley Davidson. Anheuser-Busch partnered with Harley Davidson. And apparently is doing like a very manly campaign. And I was like, bro, this just gets funnier. This just keeps getting funnier for me. Like, I think it's the funniest thing. It's like if you make one of these decisions with marketing, you know that you're about to alienate most of your base, especially like, you know who your base is, you know who your target demographic is, and you know that they wouldn't have supported any of this. And so it was huge risk. It was a huge gamble. But when you do something like this, you can't like backtrack. Like, you have to just double down, or else then you piss off everyone, which is exactly what happened, because then they pissed off all the people on the left because they were trying to backtrack so hard and reverse course and like correct. And it's just like, okay, look, like I was listening to Kevin O'Leary, is that his name? He's from Shark Tank, bald guy. He was on Fox and he was doing a segment, and that was the only reason I freaking even watched it, was because I was like, oh, what does he have to say? Because he's a business guy, you know? And he was like, yeah, we're going to be studying what happened to Bud Light in business courses for like the rest of time because there's so many facets to it that people can just learn from and learn what not to do.
Well, see, I'm gonna go ahead and say this 100%. Like, the Budweiser brand just screwed themselves because they tried to burn candles at both ends. Now they went through the whole, the Clydesdale thing, that didn't work. We're about to see the little Harley Davidson thing, that didn't work. They promoted a Pride event, that didn't work. So they're just screwed all around. Like, everybody's just like, nope, you're done. So Anheuser-Busch is hurting.
It's so interesting to me because it's like, that's so rare to actually happen. Like, usually you can get somebody to buy your products, you know what I mean? But it's just when you make a marketing decision, when you go political, and then you go, oh no, we've made a horrible mistake here, let's try to win back our base, and they're like, no, we're gonna ignore you now, and the other side is like, okay, well, now we're gonna ignore you too. Like, everybody's just F off. Like, it's well,
I'm gonna leave this comment up while we watch this.
The greatest legacies are built with grit and resilience, one detail at a time. Limited edition Budweiser Harley-Davidson cans. For those who give everything to their craft, this Bud's for you.
Look, I'm going to be honest. If I was the dude in the commercial, I'd have said, you're never going to show my face. Not that whole wiping the sweat away thing. You best cut that, because that ain't happening.
Oh, man. That was like the most cope I've ever seen in an ad. Just, please, men, just buy our beer again, please, guys.
That was a joke back then, though, where they played the woman face thing.
Bud Light ad with the guy. Oh, yeah. I actually just recently saw somebody tweet that, because they were like, look, this is what they used to be doing. And I thought it was pretty funny. Bud Light sponsoring LGBT pride events. Jesus Christ, so many guys.
They went both directions. Like, they got blowback from the right about this, and they just tried to pull it back without. Look, I understand the whole asking for an apology thing is kind of shitty. It's kind of the same thing, It's yes, it is. Mm-hmm. But now, it's not, because you're trying to burn the candle at both ends. All right. Do you want your woke crowd, or do you want your original clientele back? Because you just fucked yourself. So the only way out is an apology to one side or the other. There's no getting out of this now.
I don't even think that will work at this point. Like, I don't know.
For most of us, no.
Me,
for the sane, it won't.
Yeah, to me, it's like, well, they would only be apologizing to get you to buy their beer. Like, they don't mean anything. They don't mean any of this. Like, they say this Bud's for you. Shut up, Midwest. Oh my god. Just kidding. I love you, but no, like, and it's really funny to me too, because like, regarding the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing, Anheuser-Busch's chief executive said it was one can, one influencer, one post, not a campaign. And it's like, okay, so this is really interesting just in regards of like, you guys are trying so hard to minimize this when you wanted it to get a lot of eyes, right? And at first I was like, well, I mean, it is one way to, like, you know, outrage marketing is a thing, right? It's like everyone's talking about you. Everyone's, you know, sharing the post, sharing the ad, sharing, you know, the campaign and all of this stuff, right? Well, apparently it's not a campaign. It's just one post, one ad, right? One can. It wasn't like a whole line, but it's still super strange to me. Like, why would you even do that? Why would you dip your toe? Just make your product and shut up. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if you're going to do business, just market it to everyone. You don't need to make a political statement. It's actually the biggest problem that I have with all these, like, June's coming up and we're already seeing all the pride washing splattered across with all the rainbow unicorn crap. You know what I mean? And it's just, which I love unicorns and I love rainbows separately, okay? Which is very frustrating. There's a lot of unicorn rainbow things in my household because I have a little girl. And it's like people would be like, propaganda. Just kidding. But no, it's, it frustrates me just because it's like these companies don't even care about you. They're just doing it a month a year to get you to buy their products. They're going to mark up everything as well. And then they slip away and they don't talk about it the rest of the year. What are you giggling about?
I just find this entire thing funny because it's like, all right, of course, it's been done time and time and time again. Like every single company out there, especially for Pride Month, even BMW, like paste the rainbow flag on their emblem and nobody cares until alcohol is concerned. Like, this is America, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reason why. America. Like, you can go after kids, fine, we'll fight back a little bit, but don't you touch our fucking alcohol. It gets me every time. Like, this was the breaking point kind of situation. And, like, everybody's done with it now. Both sides, they're just like, oh, you don't want to support us? Well, F you. Oh, you're trying to push some weird dude and woman face that just needs to go away? F you. And it just keeps getting worse. And every single company is falling in line, right, in lockstep with Bud Light. Like, did y'all not learn anything? I know ad campaigns take a while to, you know, to produce and get it all working and everything, but when something like this comes along, I don't care how much money I've thrown at marketing. I'd be like, start over. Let's do something else because this ain't it. This is not it in any way. Reverse course. Don't you ever any single one of you leak some shit? No, you're going to jail. We're gonna sue you into fucking oblivion because there ain't no way you're ruining this brand.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, the whole thing is wild to me. Again, it just keeps getting funnier, in my opinion, just with the moves that they're doing. And I'm like, guys. And they're probably starting to really panic, you know, like that's why they're like just hardcore, like we're not doing well. We gotta figure this out. They really screwed us with this one, guys. But it's like, you all knew that this was gonna happen. If you didn't know that if you really thought that there wouldn't be this much pushback, and maybe they didn't because there hasn't been this much pushback, but people are just tired of it all. And, you know, I said that too. It's like, bro, it's not any one given thing. It's that this is just everywhere, all of the time, being pushed in our face constantly. And I don't see the point of it. Like, activists are actually actively creating disdain for the LGBTQIA freaking ampersand / umbrella. You know, like,
how did it go from a plus to a minus now, though?
There's
like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, they're adding the minus. It's just like LGBTQIA minus. Like, what happened? 2S minus is something like that. Like, it used to be 2S for two spirit, and then, you know, everybody made fun of it because it's like two slug butts. So they put 2S at the end and turn the plus to a minus. Like, y'all can't even come up with your own shit and just stay with it. So how the hell are we?
The minus is probably like non-humans or something. Who knows?
The lizard people.
The humans that the otherkin, you know,
Those that aren't human but look human, there is a lot of them out there. And I'm not talking about like trans or anything like that. I'm just talking about regular everyday people that are just, what the fuck?
Okay, look, I'm like 78% sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris aren't real people. Like that they're just like robots walking around. It's because
Joe Biden's the first generation robot. He just breaking down everywhere, and they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, it was like a really bad run. They're like, we'll get it next time. Well, Kanye is the next one, I think, because he's looking weird now. All of a sudden. It's really funny to me, but like, because there's some pretty elaborate conspiracy theories out there about like the clones and stuff like that, and it always makes me laugh,
Joe
like,
Biden
these are fun to think about, but
Joe Biden is like the predecessor to Data in Star Trek, and nobody can figure it out to reproduce anything like that. So yeah, it's just weird and off-putting.
It just went kind of right over my head because I've never watched that.
Oh my god.
I don't like Star Trek and I don't like Star Wars. I'm never gonna watch either one of those. Yeah, you can judge me. It's okay. I also hate ranch dressing, so you can judge me more for that too.
Well, I'm okay with that because there's only a few things that I like ranch dressing on, like fried pickles. Okay, they're awesome. But yeah,
Southwest Ranch that like Beat Ups has, it's pretty tasty.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Off Label Podcast. Look, we all hate to be told this, but just like me, everybody needs a reminder once in a while. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Make sure this information keeps getting out there to people. We need to be able to start talking to each other once again in a good, healthy, conversational way.